Hello again, YouTube. This is Dave the Mechanic. I'm back again with another video. Today I'm working on a 2003 Honda CRV. This is the 2.4 liter VTEC. This is a 4-cylinder, so you know which one you have. This is also a 4-wheel drive. Today we'll be changing the starter. Normally I would show you the part before I change it so you can see what it looks like, but the owner of the vehicle is bringing the starter to me after I get this one out. If you want to see what it looks like, you can fast forward to the end of the video. So I'll go ahead and get this process started. Let's go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal. Set it to the side so it doesn't come back up. Now your starter is down beneath this intake manifold, so we're gonna have to take up this little plate here and get all of this off the intake manifold and everything that you see here. Start by getting this cover plate off. You need a 10mm to get those two bolts off. All right, let's go ahead and take this harness off here. And then while you're there, there's another hose down here. There's no clamp on it, so you can just pull it off. And then by using a 10mm or a Phillips screwdriver, you can loosen this hose clamp and that hose clamp, and we can get this tube off. All right, let's go ahead and unplug this harness here. And then you have another one here. It's hard to get to. Get that off. And then we have another hose here with a little hand clamp. You can squeeze that by hand on either side, either this side or that side. And then once you get that off, you can pull that tube off. All right, there's 4 12mm bolts holding this throttle body in. 2 on top, 2 on bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen all 4 of those and get them out. All right, once you get it loose, you just set that to the side. Now we can focus on getting this out the way, but we gotta remove things like these tubes here. Get those out of this little snaps. And then we have a couple of bolts to remove. We have one here, one here. Well, this is a bolt, this is a nut. This is a bolt, this is a nut, and this is a bolt. So we'll start with those 5, and then we'll see what's next. There's also a harness here. Let's go ahead and get that off. To reach this one in the corner, I had to use a 3/8 extension because it's slimmer, and a 3/8 12mm. All right, by getting those 5 bolts on, I was able to get these off the studs. I'm going to remove this 10mm here that's attached to this, which is also attached to the hose down there. That way I don't have to remove the hose. I took it off and it came out of the hose anyways, but either way, you know that this bottom piece here goes down in that hose there, and then this top nipple here goes in this hose here. So let's just set it to the side. All right, to make space, we need to get this out. There's a 10mm here and 2 on the side. You can move this out of the way to get to these 2 bolts. Now we can set this out of the way. Be careful not to let any of these springs come off. Set that down in there like that. All right, let's go ahead and remove this hose clamp here, and then we're going to remove this hose. Okay, now we have to start clearing some space over here. So we're gonna remove this battery all the way. Already loosened that. I'm going to loosen up my battery hold down and get that out the way and get this battery removed. All right, now that the battery is removed, we can get in here. We have to get to that harness there and these 2 hose clamps. But you have to get those 2 hose clamps off and those 2 lines, and that gray harness right there. I was able to get this harness off here. After I got these hoses off, I was able to angle it up higher to get a good grip on the harness. So now we can move this out of the way without disconnecting these cables. Once you have this part loose enough, you can get back in here and you can reach this harness that's in here and get that out. And now I should be able to swing this out this way. I only have one hand, but I'm going to use both hands and get that kind of out and up that way. You want to get it out and up. I actually still have this hose connected because it's moving good with it on. You can take it off if you want, or if you see anything else that's attached to it, but I'm going to try to get it all out as one piece. Okay, something else is going to help a lot. I was able to pop these tabs off of this, and once I got this up, just a couple of 10mm screws or bolts, and I was able to move this part of the frame back. This is the frame that secures and holds the radiator. So I was able to, there's a 10mm bolt here, here, and one down here, and one here. So once you remove this, you pop this up, and then, because this normally sits like this, so you know you have one bolt here and here, and one here. So once you're able to pop this up, and same thing on this side, then you can lift this up and over, and the same thing over here. So I have both sides up and over. That gives me an extra about 1.5 inches, 2 inches there, and pretty much now I can reach in and bring this up. I'm gonna need 2 hands, of course, but it's pretty much free now. All right, so before we get those bolts out, there's 3 things we need to disconnect. There's a plug here, you just pull it straight out. There's a nut here to get off of the hot wire. Of course, we have the battery disconnected, so we don't have to worry about getting shocked by that. And then you have a harness here. It's not really starter related, but it's attached to this wire. You probably don't have to remove it, but I'm just going to go ahead and remove it to give me more space. So now all I have to do is remove this hot wire, and then I can remove that bolt there, and there's a bolt right here as well. They have it elongated. You can see it, but the top of the bolt is still here, and you can reach it from here, and you get those 2 bolts out after you get this hot wire off, and the starter should remove. All right, now that I have the harness removed, you can see the bolt now. You put the socket here. It looks like it's not all the way in, but it is all the way in. That's just the way it is. So you put the socket here, and you take this bolt out, and you take that bolt out. So this is what that bolt looks like. All right, I was able to get the bolts out. So now, at first I had to give it a little thud, but you know, it just comes right out. All right, there's no reason to make this video too long, so I'm not going to show the reinstall process for everything else, just a starter, because everything else just goes in the opposite way you took it out. So with the starter, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in with the teeth facing down and get it locked in place. And once you get it locked in, we can go ahead and put our bolts back on. All right, I have both the bolts tight, so now we can go ahead and I'm gonna plug this harness in here, and now we can get our 12mm nut on. It's a hard angle. right, and then tighten it down. And then once you tighten it down, you're gonna plug this in. And technically your starter is connected now. So you can just go ahead and start putting everything back together. Obviously the first thing you're gonna wanna do once you have everything starter-wise connected is you're gonna wanna get this back down in here. So you get that down in there, and you connect. I would connect this harness first. That way, once it's slid over, it's easier. It's not hard to get to, and then start connecting everything else. All right. Well, that's another video in the books. If you like the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If there's anything I left out, let me know. Anything I could have done better, let me know as well. All feedback is welcome. So until next time, this is Dave the Mechanic. See you again in another video.